This is Titus. I've had him since he was 6 weeks old. He's kind of turned into my dad's dog too, just because I'm gone all the time, so he's always over there, but he always knows who's the one that got him, so he always knows who his favorite is. My family's like one of the most important things to me. I mean, I honestly don't think I would be here to this day without them, so I'm very grateful to have them. I mean, there's not enough words that I could explain to say how thankful I am to them, but I mean, it's nice living so close to them. You know, I can go bug them whenever I want, but if I need to escape, I can always go back to my place. My mom always talks about having an intuition when I have like a bad game, or I feel like she feels like I'm being hard on myself, and she always gives me a call. There's always a call on my phone from her when I know I'm having a bad day. She's always there to call. So, and my dad, you know, he's been my coach since I was 3 years old, so, you know, he's always been there. I know it's been hard for him to, you know, step back and just watch me play, but I know he's enjoying it. That's like their vacation, is planning to come see me at baseball fields, so. Having a routine every day kind of like takes your mind off of that self-doubt, because if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're just constantly thinking about it. So I think it just kind of like helps you like keep the consistency of staying positive. Even though you're struggling sometimes, I think when you do the same thing over and over again, it kind of creates that positive atmosphere.
Why is it so important for you to be outspoken and vulnerable about sharing your experiences around that?
I've got so many messages from kids that have like told me like that it's because I talked about it that it's like inspired them to go and talk to people about it. So like just like getting stuff like that's like really made it worthwhile to talk about my struggles, so that somebody else will open up and talk about their struggles. Honestly, that's something I still struggle with, but I've been starting to like write every day, like at least one thing positive on myself. So like on the first day I write one thing, the second day I try and write two things, and like kind of each day like I try and like create like more and more like positive things to talk about myself in my journal, like I write down. For what I've been through, and to like give somebody else advice, I would say that it's not as bad as it seems, because when we're in our own head we think it's the end of the world, but at the end of the day, like there's always so much positive to think about. And that's something I've always done, is that I've started doing lately, is if I'm getting down on myself, I try and think of the positive things I have in my life, like my family, my friends, like my health and stuff like that. And the Still Alive thing kind of just came from my own mental health journey, and the fact that I'm still here and I'm still alive for what I went through is just something that I try and remind myself every day, is that I'm still here, I'm still alive, and I'm still fighting. I was always taught to play the game right and don't disrespect the game, but it also kind of like is instilled in me that like it might be the first time somebody ever sees me play, and it might be the last time they ever see me play. So like I feel like I owe it to that fan or that kid to see me play as hard as I can, and that's just kind of like how I think about it. I think what makes baseball so special is that you can never perfect it. Like one day you feel on top of the world, and then the next day you forget how to swing a bat and you're like, this doesn't feel like I did yesterday. We had good mindsets. Like we had guys that would struggle, but they would literally like turn out of it like the next week or the next day. Like they would like go 0 for 4, and then the next day they're 4 for 4. Like I know when I was a younger player, like I was sucked at that. Like if I went 0 for 4, I felt like it dragged on for a month. So like we had so many like young studs, like Willie and Rafaela, like those guys would literally maybe have a tough night, and then the next night they'd go and win a game for us and make a sick play. Like that was just something that was like inspiring to me to look up to in these young guys. I mean, playing baseball since I was like 3 years old. I mean, honestly and talking truthfully, like I never thought that baseball would be like a thing for me. You know, like I didn't really get recruited a lot, and when I did, I never wanted to go visit the college. My high school coach used to yell at me all the time, dude, go visit, go visit. And I'm like, no, like I don't want to. So like, it didn't really hit me until like, I think like my sophomore year, I think is when I went to the Cape, and then like my coach was like, hey, like you have a chance to get drafted. I think that's like when I first realized that baseball could actually be a thing, because I never really thought like mentally that I could do it at that level. The way I am and the way I'm wired is like, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, like I did good, but I remember that one time I missed a fly ball or something. Like I'm always picking out the negatives. So, but I guess that's why I have my family and friends to kind of remind me that I had a good year and stuff, because I never like to think too highly of myself, because I don't want people to think I'm like cocky or anything like that, because I'm not. I just like to keep my head down and work hard. So I feel like that's why I think so negatively about myself, because I try and like humble myself and not come off as like cocky. If a kid watched me the first time, like if the least I can do for a fan is sign for them, and it might be the only time they get to see me play, and I can like make some kid's day by signing his card, like that warms my heart. And I always want to treat people the way I want to be treated. So like I always want to treat people with like love and respect. A fan asked me to sign his prosthetic. Like that's just like really eye-opening to me, that like they're such a fan that they want me to sign like their prosthetic, which is like almost made me tear up that he wanted me to do that. So like that was an awesome moment for me. I feel like that's the least I can do, is go out and sign and hang out with those people for a little bit. It just means they care, honestly. Like when you're doing good, they love you. When you're doing bad, they want you to do good. It's just like having a dad that wants to coach you, and they just kind of like push you a little bit. But like I would rather have fans like that get on my butt a little bit than fans that don't really care how we do. So I'm thankful, but at the same time, you know, give us some slack. We are human at the end of the day. So I try and joke around and mess around with my teammates as much as possible. I know some of these guys probably get over me, but you know, like Rob, I always like to mess with Rob. Trevor Story, he's always talking how he thinks he's faster than me, but we all know he's not. But yeah, just keeping it loose like that, you know, just trying to have fun, man. I mean, this game's already hard enough as it is, so. Obviously I'm nervous going into next year, because I'm always thinking the most negative things, but yeah, I'm just gonna go in there and just work hard, you know. Like I don't want to put any expectations on myself, because then I feel like putting expectations and I don't get those, it just creates more pressure, and then you start to struggle more. So I just kind of go, my mentality is like, I'm just gonna go in there and play hard, and whatever happens, happens. And like that hasn't steered me wrong yet, so I'm just gonna go in there and keep doing that.